Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of FOOTYplus powered by the Crows. I'm Amos Gill and we're down here at Priceline Stadium, the home of the Adelaide Thunderbirds, for another episode of all things South Australian sport. Coming up in this episode, we meet Adelaide's newest V8 supercar driver.
I definitely wasn't watching cartoons as a kid, that's for sure.
And find out what it takes to juggle professional sport with a full-time career.
It was like a matter of just getting on the laptop and doing homework in the car.
Let's start with footy. And 2018 saw the very successful return of the AFL Women's Comp. But only being 7 rounds long, it's fair to say teams are having to get very creative with the way they keep their players in top shape with a very lengthy off-season. At the Crows, the girls have teamed up with NT Thunder and the VFL Women's Comp to make sure they stay elite.
For Australia's elite women footballers, it's a long off-season.
We had about 9 months away from each other from playing in different local football clubs.
So after establishing on-field chemistry and becoming familiar with team processes during their inaugural premiership-winning season, the Adelaide Crows had to start again.
Refresh our memories, I guess, on some of the structures and some of the things that we wanted to go about.
But that process promises to be a lot smoother this year, with 28 Crows-listed players given the opportunity to line up for the Northern Territory Thunder against quality opposition in the VFL Women's League. According to Adelaide co-captain and 2018 club champion Chelsea Randall, it's an essential development.
The majority of our squad will be rotating through that NT Thunder team, which is really exciting and enables us to be able to practice some of the things that we want to work on together as a team for 2019 AFLW season.
Up to 12 Crows players will appear in any one match for the Thunder, which is coached by former Sturt and Norwood star Tim Weatherall.
Number 6, one of the McGarry medalists, Tim Weatherall.
It's an extension of the Adelaide women's team's prosperous partnership with AFL Northern Territory, and it promises to significantly improve an already imposing Crows unit.
I just want to get my hands on the footy like most players and continue to learn and grow and develop those skills so that we can be better, people on and off the field.
Randall's confident her team can bounce back from a difficult second season.
We'd just come off winning a premiership and, we were the hunted.
And the main challenge will be keeping pace with a rapidly evolving league.
High-speed running was, 50% faster than the season one. So for us, it was a faster game, and we've just got to be able to keep moving with that, keep developing our players that are younger and coming through the system, and making sure that they're well looked after and understand the club culture that they're coming into as well.
The third AFLW season is expanding to 10 teams with the addition of North Melbourne and Geelong.
Now, there's nothing like a sporting success story against the odds. We all love an underdog. And Adelaide's very own Todd Hazelwood's journey to V8 Supercars' main stage is remarkable. You'll never have enough money, they said. You'll never make it. But what he did have was bucket loads of talent, resilience, and a family that was not only supportive, but also resourceful. We were lucky enough to catch up with Todd in his unchanged childhood bedroom as he told us his story.
Dream big was the hashtag, and he's done it. The 22-year-old, originally from Adelaide.
Yeah, as you can see here, I was definitely a Ford fan growing up as a kid, and got one of my favourite posters signed by Craig Lowndes, who still gives me grief today about it, which is quite funny. I used to wake up every morning and watch racing car videos or previous race footage from Bathurst or anything like that, so I definitely wasn't watching cartoons as a kid, that's for sure. I always remember going out to Malala in my early years, supporting Dad when he was doing the super sprint races and his old Falcon back in the day, and that's really where the passion for motorsport started. Yeah, this photo here was one of my first races as a junior. I was just turned 8. Racing 14-year-olds. I remember having my first race meeting out at the Adelaide Dirt Kart Club, and I cried at my first race meeting because I spun out in the final and I didn't win, so I was absolutely gutted. And my first ever race meeting in bitumen karting on my P plates, I won from the rear of the field, and that kind of surprised a few people. Motorsport is a seriously expensive sport to be a part of, and my father Russell and mother Sharon and my sister Lauren, you know, they made a big commitment in my early years of racing. It all started when we were racing around the country, living out of a trailer. We were sleeping in a tent at all the race meetings or camping at the track. And I remember, you know, we used to take all the tyres away from the race meetings that people would throw out and leave in a bin. We would collect cans as well, because being in South Australia, you get your 5-cent refund. The Sausage Sizzles actually all started, I think it was the start of 2012. We were essentially had no money left, and we were saved up 6 months of the year trying to go racing to step up from go-karts to Formula 4. Yeah, we're still selling them today, so it's been an iconic part of how we created our success. We also started selling fundraiser chocolates, so I was selling 2 or 3 boxes a day at school, so that was over 100 chocolates a day, and I was known as Freddo Frog at school. Racing against some of the big names in today's game is really special, considering that, you know, I was a young kid once upon a time and cheering on those guys watching TV. If you're a young karter or you're trying to get through the ranks of motorsport, definitely don't be afraid to dream big. And I had a lot of people that said you couldn't do it, you didn't have enough money, or you didn't have the right people around you to do what we're doing today. So you just got to ignore the haters and just keep your sights firmly on the goal that you want to achieve.
How cool's that? In his bedroom when he was a kid, all those posters of Ford racing cars, and then he goes on to be a racing driver for Ford. It's like if you went to my childhood bedroom, you'd see thousands of posters of Jennifer Hawkins, and then I went on to be a swimsuit model. Here's Belinda Sloane with our next story.
I'm here at the Adelaide Football Club to catch up with one of AFL's greats, Andrew McLeod. Now, his footy days may be well behind him, but his work running youth Indigenous programs is having a far-reaching impact. From oval to office, Andrew McLeod is doing what he does best. He uses football to inspire the next generation, and at the moment the focus is on educating Indigenous youth.
You know, I grew up in a pretty small town as a kid, and thought, well, if an opportunity through football came into my town and offered me opportunities of education, I'd probably snap them up.
6 years ago, Andrew and his wife Rachel approached the Crows for support in running Indigenous youth leadership workshops. The programs were so successful that the McLeod Center of Excellence was born, delivering educational pathways and empowering young Australians.
Resilience is basically, it's our ability to bounce back after tough situations or difficult times.
Today, the centre teaches programs to high school students as far-reaching as the remote APY lands and far west coast.
In our research, there was only a handful of kids that actually completed their education on the lands. I guess culture plays a really big part in a lot of these kids. And so how do we actually, I guess, massage the education stuff into it so it helps support them? It allows the kids to be able to walk in both worlds, so, you know, in a Western world and also an animal world, which is their culture.
They offer a variety of programs that encourages students to complete Year 12 with emphasis placed on leadership and business studies.
It can be quite tough, like it's a lot of work, and for them they've got to make a real commitment to the program. We're not giving them a certificate, they've actually got to earn it and they've got to do the work.
As a mentor, he strives to build strong, meaningful relationships along the way.
For Rach and I, it's a bit like having an extension of your own family. We've built these relationships with these kids for a long period of time. It's great to see them go on and achieve success in whatever they choose to do.
The results speak for themselves, and the federal government has no hesitation in pledging significant financial support for the next 3 years. It means even more young people will now have the chance to fulfil their potential.
Like I said, we follow them up. A lot of our kids have graduated and they've returned home. And they've used the certificate and the qualifications and their learnings to go and get jobs back in community. It's those moments where you can actually change someone to go from, I hate this, and then, oh, I love this. So for us, I think those wins are those moments that we look forward to.
Our major partner, Toyota, are offering all Crows members a $500 accessory voucher when you buy a new Toyota vehicle. Visit any Toyota dealer with your Crows membership card to claim this fantastic offer. Netball is one of Australia's most participated in sports, and and playing at the elite level is every young girl's dream. But often, the young players balance full-time study or work with their training and playing commitments. Adelaide's newest Thunderbird, Kaitlyn Bryce, has sat down to talk with us about what it takes to balance two very different lives.
Looking back now, I honestly don't know how we did it.
Kaitlyn Bryce is remembering her high school days. Balancing an all-consuming passion for netball.
I remember watching it on telly and I remember saying to Mum, like, that's exactly what I want to do, and that's my dream and that's my childhood dream.
With the necessities of study. To ensure their daughter trained and played with the best teenage netballers in the state, her parents drove her to Sydney and back up to 5 times per week, and that was from their home in Shoalhaven, 200 kilometres away.
So 6-hour round trip. So yeah, I think at one point I was in the car for 30 hours a week and at school 20. So it was like a matter of just getting on the laptop and like doing homework in the car on the way there.
Later, Brice would contemplate quitting study or netball, but she'd learned early how to make the most of her time, a skill that helped her complete her Bachelor of Nursing degree while making the most of her netball career.
It was super tricky to do netball and nursing, and they're never something that worked together very well. It was tough. I just had to know that if things were due in a month's time, don't wait the month. Like, I had to, any spare time in between is when I just had to slowly chip away. So I got pretty good at, if I just had an hour, just do an hour, and if that's all I can do at the time, then that's better than doing nothing. But yeah, it has been a juggling act. Something that my dad taught me very well was that there are enough hours in the day, you've just got to find them and be productive with them.
Brice joined the Thunderbirds from the Sydney Swifts. After a year away from the top level, helped her complete her degree. And now she works as a nurse in Adelaide, something her club encourages.
The club culture here in the Thunderbirds, which is one of the best cultures that I've been a part of, is that we support you as a netballer, but we also support you as a person.
But times are changing.
At the moment, netball still allows the athletes to have other jobs or to study, which I think is great for life balance. But the way the game is growing, I'm pretty sure that in a few years' time that every single athlete will be a full-time netballer.
Anyone who knows me knows that I would always choose netball.
Now to our social media review of the week.
It's been a huge week for South Australian baseball, with infielder Curtis Mead signing with a Major League Baseball team. The 17-year-old will line up with the Philadelphia Phillies from 2019. Mead is one of 3 Adelaide Bite players to score a professional baseball contract in the United States. To cricket, and Alex Carey has been named vice-captain of the Australian 2020 international squad. It's a big promotion for the South Australian wicketkeeper, who only made his international debut last summer after standout performances for the Redbacks and Adelaide Strikers. Showdown 44 may have been a Port home game, but this Crows fan certainly made a statement amongst the Power faithful. While former Adelaide skipper Mark Bickley shared his son's reaction to the nail-biting clash on Twitter. Yes! 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 A lesson to us all that 42 seconds is a long time in footy. And you can catch Mark Bickley hosting the Crows show alongside Alana Smith on Channel 7 at 11:30 a.m. this Sunday. Make sure you keep up to date with all the latest Crows news and behind-the-scenes action at afc.com.au and on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
I hope you've enjoyed this show. Big thanks to the Adelaide Thunderbirds for letting us take over Priceline Stadium. Keep an eye out for us on Channel 7 and 7plus in the weeks ahead. Bye for now. Here if you need. That's rubbish. Just joking, guys. Watch this. Drop back. Well, don't put that in.